Okay, I feel like sitting down these days. For a few weeks. These are two poems with a sort of related theme. If you present anything I write as a theme. The first one is called Evolution. Egon, Agon, something wrong in the house of pain. Nausea grips the hold on consciousness. 2487 crude rhymes abide, and I am alone, slipped from the center, tilted in a place of fragrance, faster and faster and faster. Nowhere moth flutter, myth flatter, straight on gaze doesn't touch the side, sheltered by rock cut in plain faces, grimacing out of all order. The fortune sends the fire ahead of its forays into the mores of a grasping people. Escape is vital, mortal, dreadful to be caught. Oh, to be caught between knuckles, tousled like a child, monkish and meager, able to be satisfied in the compass of my arm, not to dangle in front of myself the fruitful act generating kindness and blessings. I find myself again, day after day, dray after dray, rising to the occlusion of clarity. In charity we must smell, scratch, sniff, remember, reconsider. Empty wings float as I blind myself on the beach, gazing into tomorrow. Turn around, sit down, memorialize the dog who sat here before you, and a lizard, and a tree, and sunlight, and ice, and a dream of first steps, careening Carolyn cordwood stacked by the bar to attract a preserve of energy, lined in perpetuity with marble, and upturned eyes from a really nice section of hell with private kitchens, live-in maids, and exit to the hatch leading up the rock face, and slightly indented, as are we all, in all ways forever, until I change my mind and open my hand and let the tiny doves loose like flies on a summer day in heaven. So perfect is the moment, striding into place with a broad swing of its hips, strong yet transparent, translucent, sliding to the absolute identity of matter, mind and you, owning the dance again, slammed from floor to ceiling in a triplet of love, helpless to hook your feet under the bar of equilibrium and float on screen at the touch of a bubble, spouted, dispirited disappearance. I spun one and wondered where the hound will land in its endless search, besmirched by a faint, cold aura of irrepressibility. Down and discredited, renowned and edited, music stays in the hold and grasps both stubborn sides for fear of accommodation, praise and a good time heard by the wall in an itch I bitch in the everlasting evening full of morning glories and time to play, to pity, to scale the arms of the idle in search of secrets blown softly into the wide as the curtain slips aside to reveal shocking glimpses of the works. Shells being made, shelter on an upgrade, brows straightened, chin shifted until a monument appears, and history begins on the veld where African dreams are desired and home is just the shell you left yesterday. Rise, place the altitude of leather beneath your feet and march. Stones rattle, crack unto your dread scorn drives a nation into being. We look over each other's shoulders and pout and type each other to a reflex, jerking back from the meat mirror, reflecting the pairs forward and back into an infinity of forgetfulness when we all get to begin again with a really deep breath. When I wrote this next poem, I had on my mind the story of that 2,000-year-old guy they dug out of a bog in Ireland.
Oh, the bogman.
The bogman, who was so perfectly preserved you could tell what color his hair was. So this was called The Man in the Bog. The middle is the end, blending in raucous recovery, reviled in a nation pierced by debt. No magic occurs. Blessed signs surround me out of reach. Teach the aardvark how to swim better than to mitigate the circumstance of inconvenience. Wild voices howl. But the circuit fumbles and I get nothing from the day but a negative evaluation. Evolution, sandy death rides up my shorts invincibly and without warming up the deal for lower breeds. Love, the convenient concatenation of repetition. Every little day a dirty dawn trudge ankle deep through gray dry sewage lying lightly on the sidewalk, slide talk, chalk talk, lesson to the lessening day, read and repeat, and read and repeat. Moss burns, stench melts away from around a man preserved in the bog, slogging through days, mornings, and afternoons of hunting, scavenging, ripped apart from life seats in his hands, stitched clothing, and there he lies like a rich man, hands in his pockets, holy with loss, gain, negative, reverse, reflected on our meaningful lives, morning dragged from the sandpit seats in our clothes, reflecting on similarities in the void. Nothing is exchanged for the hope of life in a drier place. Skin, spin, cycle, and recycle. Rasp against the air as you walk through your paces. Shed your fruit for others, die, and rot into a story of preservation. Climbing hand over hand to a better pace of living. Forget the emptiness. Cherish the boredom. Make room, make way, make waves. Take heart, unlimber yourself of motion. through the ocean with a palm curling in atonement. I drop in a quarter and call you to account. 1, 3, 6, 19. Turn around and face the day coming. Go in with a small mistake and come out with a curse. Didactic, refracted, reflected, gone. Ulcer bleeds for you. Bolsters your right to cry in terms of enfeeblement. I shall be alone. And your words echo off the scarp of an upthrust hand. The script calls for you to take another pill and roll over, bearing the burden of yellow, jagged, idle teeth resting on a head of substance, selecting, collecting, dispersing the mild reward of a life not worth dying for. The scarf wrapped around the stanchion, saying, here, here, there, where, out, thee, syncopate, and hurl into the air for a clay sacrifice. Did you know this is your life, eternal, reincarnated as nobody else again? Refrain once and the whole world dies in your hand.